Doubles and Coffee, Part 7, mini-series, in how the PNM, corrupt PNM, does wrong, institutes wrong, perpetrates wrong, and the media and Trinidad and Tobago, our culture and our politics, allows it to become right. Right here is a judgment from the board of the Privy Council in the Piarco 1 case. Bastio Pandey is now dead, having been persecuted by the PNM. Ishwa Galbaran Singh is now dead, having been persecuted by the PNM. Now listen to this judgment that quashed all the 20 years of persecution, corruption, nepotism, bias, partiality, political interference to hound down political opponents by the PNM. And keep in mind Nelson Gate, keep in mind Faris Arawi, keep in mind Rowley, keep in mind the indemnity. As I read bits from this judgment from white men across the pond who know nothing about UNC, PNM, politics, who care not about Balisay House and if they cut ribbon, who just care about truth, righteousness, the law, and what is right, natural justice. Listen to bits of this judgment that threw out that PNM corrupt lies on Piarco 1. Lord Malcolm started out by saying and assessing these appeals from 2 related decisions of the Court of Appeal, and this involves our judiciary. Understand that the PNM has controlled each independent institution. They now control the House, the Office of the President that appoints Integrity Commission, EBC, Commissioners for the Police Service Commission, the Public Service Commission. They control independent senator selection. They control the Commissioner of Police. They appointed their own Police Service Commission. Understand where we are. We are worse than this. Lord Malcolm said, these appeals from 2 related decisions of the Court of Appeal of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago concern an application for the recusal of a judge presiding over criminal proceedings on the ground of apparent bias. They arise in the context of a long-running and extraordinary set of circumstances. The test for such a recusal is whether a fair-minded and informed member of the public who considered the facts would conclude that there was a real possibility that the judge was biased. Now use this benchmark for everything. The niece of a former sitting PNM minister in charge of the EBC, independent senators who sat on PNM boards, chairman of Police Service Commission who actually sit actively on PNM boards while sitting on an independent institution. In the decision at clause 80, can't read the whole thing for you all. I don't have enough time on Doubles and Coffee, but just some critical points. The board is satisfied that even if focusing only on the Chief Magistrate's indebtedness to the Attorney General, meaning the PNM Attorney General, the observer would conclude that the potential impact of this was not confined to the Pandey trial, but was also a source of real concern in respect of Piarco 1. The Chief Magistrate might have at least a subconscious desire to please the Attorney General, the PNM Attorney General, John Jeremy at that time, and others, by convicting Mr. Pandey. The same would apply, and perhaps more so, at decision time in respect of the Piarco 1 defendants, including Ish Galbaran Singh, now deceased. It is the beholdenness itself, not the precise circumstances in which it arose, plus the Attorney General, the PNM Attorney General's direct interest in Piarco 1, which create a legitimate doubt as to the Chief Magistrate's ability to act as a wholly independent and impartial judge. At clause 86 of the judgment of the Privy Council, they state, When all the various sources of concerns are considered together, the observer would be likely to agree with the appellant's submission that by January 2008, the chief magistrate was hopelessly compromised. We have gone further in 2024 with a dictator, an oppressive, tyrannical Obeah called Rowley. We have gone worse than this. Do you hear the words hopelessly compromised? And this in Trinidad and Tobago has been allowed to go on, turning wrong into right, taking independent institutions that should be a check and balance on the government, whether it is the central bank governor, one getting fired for telling you the truth about foreign exchange. They replace a neighbor of the prime minister at Inez Gate, and no foreign exchange, everybody's suffering. Another one come to tell you there is no foreign exchange crisis. You have PNM controlling the parliament, the senate, the court. A judge sat on a case with the EMBD for 4.5 years and never told anybody her brother was on the board that filed the case with the PNM. That's where we reach. The wife of a senior counsel who is now a bunkerer sat and refused to recuse herself until she was forced out on a case with political implications in Trinidad and Tobago. Men are now dead. Basto Pandey is dead. Ishwa Galbaran Singh is dead, having been persecuted by the evil, nasty, disgusting PNM. The only way to get rid of them is to turn right. Because in the words of a Mr. Chubby David Reverend, what is right, and what is wrong is wrong. Stop it. Stop the PNM. Unite. Stop arguing. Bless.